Welcome to another edition of the Coach Dable Show presented by Ford. I'm Bob Papa. The Giants take on the Bears this weekend. Big show lined up for you. Sean O'Hara goes one-on-one. Bruce Beck in the locker room. Carl Banks goes to the coach's tape to break down the Giants and the Bears. But as always, we welcome in the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Dable, along with Carl Banks. And Coach, you're going to Chicago this week to take on a Bears team that put a lot of points up on the board last week. What influence has Ben Johnson brought to this football team?
Yeah, they've done a good job in offense in the running game, creating some explosives. Those explosives, anywhere from 12 plus. There's a number of them between 12 and 20 yards of getting to the edge of defenses, toss cracks, outside zone. Obviously, the gadgets you have to be alert to. Do a good job with run after catch. And on the defense, they're taking the football away. So, they lost their opening two games. They've done a good job here. That Cincinnati game was a back-and-forth wild game, the last 3 minutes of the game. But done a nice job and finished some games, and, they're doing a good job.
Coach, it seems like the quarterback in Chicago has kind of found a rhythm, right? Early on in his career, like a lot of young quarterbacks are just kind of feeling their way, but it seems like Ben Johnson has him doing a lot of things that fit his skill set.
Yeah, they use a lot of play action. He's trying to throw in rhythm when he gets to his back foot, and then when he can, I think he's got a God-given ability to extend plays, and that certainly hasn't been taken away from him as part of his game, and make some loose plays. And look, he's got some really good perimeter guys that a lot of their explosive plays come when the ball is thrown 10 yards or underneath. So that means, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends are doing a good job of running after the catch. The ball's coming out, and then they're doing a good job in space of making people miss and gaining yards, which, is a productive way to gain explosive plays.
So I'm guessing that's priority number one on the board, like rally to the ball, tackle. Because we saw last week, even with Swift out of the game, the rookie running back had a big game.
Yeah, he had a huge game. And again, whether they're getting to the edge, which they do a fair amount, and that's something that we got to improve on. The toss plays, the outside zone, stretch and cut, and then, the screens, the shallow underneath. Moore is an exceptional run after catch player. Dunze, can hit you deep, but he's also can do stuff with the ball in his hands. The two tight ends that they have, we'll see if Swift's back, but they have, a good skill player nucleus around this young quarterback that I think is helpful.
Defensively, they like to take the ball away. Ball security is important.
Yeah. Best team in the league at doing it right now. They have 19 turnovers, and then they've converted off of those turnovers a number of points, making a short field, good complementary game. But they've done a good job of taking it away, whether it's at the quarterback, the running back position, or intercepting the pass, which, again, it's the name of the game. So, a lot of their season has been predicated upon efficient offensive football, which they've done a good job, but taking the ball away on defense to give the ball another possession to the offense.
So Jackson Dart has done a really good job, especially as a young player through 6 starts, of protecting the football. What kind of growth have you seen in him so far?
Yeah, week by week. So I think he makes the right decision. I think he throws the ball where he wants to throw the ball or needs to throw the ball in terms of seeing the coverage, and that's important. It's not trying to force something into a tight window if that's not exactly the read, and he's done a good job of that. And if he has opportunities to push the ball down the field, and each game's a little bit different how we get played, then he goes ahead and does that. So, I'm encouraged by his progress.
And a learning lesson last week, right, about holding on to the football a little bit, right? I mean, because Andrew Thomas does a pretty good job, and he's hoping and waiting for something, but they pursue in the NFL pretty strongly.
Yeah, and again, those are things, like I said early on when we first started them, that we'll learn from. But there's a fine line between pulling back on a quarterback that can do things like that. A lot of successful ones can do that. Have a good understanding of where you're at in the game, the field position, but he'll also make a lot of plays when he does that. So, I'm not going to be one to say, oh, don't do it, then don't do it. I don't think that's good for a young quarterback. I think understanding the situation of where you're out on the field and where your outlets are and the timing of, plays, particularly when you get backed up, that's a critical aspect of playing, and that's something he'll learn from, and I know he will.
Coach, we appreciate a couple minutes. Best of luck this week.
Thanks, guys.
That's the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Dable. When we come back on the program, the head-to-head matchup between the Giants and Bears, all that and more here on the Coach Dable Show, presented by Ford. Welcome back to the Coach Dable Show, presented by Ford. Sunday, it's the Giants and Bears in Chicago. Time for this week's edition of Head to Head. And Carl, Andrew Thomas has been spectacular since coming back from his injury. I think the Giants did the right thing and really waited until he was fully healthy. No sacks allowed. Montez Sweat, who was acquired from Washington, 4 sacks, and he really has turned into a good acquisition for this team.
Well, he's an aggressive pass rusher. The entire Chicago Bears defense is aggressive, but Andrew Thomas is good at his job. Like, he puts in the work, he studies his opponent, and he's just got really good technique. So if he stays to his technique, every pass rusher he's faced has had to work extra to try to get to the quarterback.
Let's go to the other side of the ball, where Brian Burns leads the National Football League with 11 sacks. Darnell Wright has only allowed 1 sack. Chicago has really stabilized their offensive line with some of their offseason moves. But let's talk about Spider-Man, because it's not just the sacks, it's the disruption, the passes defended, the pressure he puts on an opposing quarterback.
It's called tenacity. I mean, he just never stays blocked. And that's the one thing you admire about Brian Burns is if you block him, you got to stay with him, because he just continues to come. And with a quarterback who likes to make off-schedule plays, Wright may not give up the sack, but the sack may happen if Burns is still pursuing the football.
One other head-to-head matchup. We got 2 young quarterbacks. Jackson Dart making his 7th start, looking for his first road win. And Caleb Williams, although he played last year and had pretty good numbers in this head-to-head matchup, he's learning a new system, and now it looks like he's being coached up on a different level.
Well, he's learning a new system while incorporating his natural abilities. And the one thing you see both he and Jackson Dart, they're very instinctive scramblers. I just heard the word elite scramblers used for the first time by a very established defensive coordinator. Both guys are elite because they have a sense of the rush. They know where the lanes are, and very instinctive. And I think that's something where with Caleb Williams, you can never get your guy covered long enough because he just moves around so much. You just have to have so much attention to detail on the back end of your defense.
Well, we're just getting started here on the program. Carl's going to break that down in strategy a little bit later on in the program. When we come back, Sean O'Hara goes one-on-one here on the Coach Dable Show, presented by Ford.
Welcome back to the Coach Dable Show. We are down on the field one-on-one right now with Devin Singletary, a.k.a. Motor.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for taking the time. It's always good to see you. We got to start off with the name.
Yeah.
Where did Motor come from?
So it was passed down from my pops. So when I was born, I was Lil Motor. And then I started playing ball. It stuck with me. And here we are. Everywhere I went, teachers, it doesn't matter. They called me Motor.
Take me through, look, obviously running back, everybody thinks, all right, you got to run the football, sometimes you got to catch, but sometimes you also have to block.
Oh, yeah.
So there's 2 parts to that, right? It's like G.I. Joe, no one's half the battle, right? So you got to know who to block, and then you got to execute it. So take me through, if you know you've got to block a blitzer, all right, how is it different if that blitzer comes from depth or if that blitzer is standing in the A gap or B gap?
Yeah, so if he's coming from depth, man, you want to close the distance. You want to get up to the line of scrimmage as quick as you can and take away the inside, try to invite him outside.
So you're the running back.
Yep.
All right, I'm the linebacker.
Quarterback is here.
So I'm back here. You want to close the distance.
Yes, I'm here.
So you're meeting me in the hole.
I'm meeting you in the hole.
Otherwise, if you don't, if you're back there and if you wait, what's going to happen?
I'm giving you too many options. You can run around, you can run through me, or you could go either way. That's going to be a long day for you.
Yeah. All right, so close the gap.
Closing the gap.
You come up, and what are you looking at?
I'm here, taking away the inside.
Okay.
You're going to go out.
So you're taking my inside half. You're basically like looking at my inside number.
Yep.
Right? Forcing me to go this way.
Yep.
Right? Like in basketball.
And you want to have your hands up. You want to make contact before he does.
Okay. Now he's making a move.
Yeah.
Right? So now usually if they give you that, they're trying to go outside.
He's done for. Any of this,
now
he's done. Any of that,
if he moves this, you're jamming him in the chest.
Oh, yeah. I'm knocking him off balance.
And then what are you doing with your feet? So after you punch me, now all of a sudden I'm moving here.
I'm never crossing my feet.
You're shuffling.
I'm turning into a lineman.
You're like an old lineman.
I'm turning into an old lineman.
I like it. We got to flip those numbers, 62.
Come on.
All right.
I'll get busy.
So I feel like pass blocking for running backs, like it's technique, right? Obviously you gotta know it, but it's also like you gotta want it, right?
Yeah, man, it's a mindset. It's a mindset. To me, my mindset is if you're in a fight one-on-one, you basically turn into a boxer. No one is there to save you. You got to be the man. You got to win that. You got to win that battle because you want to keep your quarterback clean.
Yeah.
And that's really outside of knowing who you blocking. Your mindset got to be right like that. Like,
I love it.
I'm not taking this L.
You're an old lineman at heart. You got it in you. Protect your quarterback. Well, you mentioned like a boxer, so I see you got some red gloves on.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but notice you got red cleats on.
Yeah.
And they look like they've been painted. Like,
Yeah,
what's going on
man.
with the red cleats.
So, man, I always love red. I've been fortunate enough to always be in some sort of blue and red when it came to the team that I played for, and I always gravitated towards the red cleats. One, because I like it, and two, when I'm on TV, my grandmother and my mother, they can always locate me. They always say
Easy to find.
It's so easy to find, and they hate when I don't wear the red. And I get them, they look a little rough right now. By game day,
It's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
by game day, they'll be all nice. My guy Hags in the equipment room, he take care of me. He always looking out for me.
So they paint your cleats every week.
Every week, man, every week,
You're motoring.
all day.
All right, let's do it.
All day.
All right, thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Go get the Bears.
Got to.
All right, don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to come right here on the Coach Dable Show.
Welcome back to the Coach Dable Show presented by Ford. It's the Giants and Bears in Chicago. For more on this week's matchup, we send it over to Bruce Beck.
Hey, Bob, I'm in the locker room and I'm looking for another running back somewhere. Oh, we got one right here. Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, my friend?
Doing good, doing good.
You went through a period where you weren't getting the ball that much. You were playing behind Cam Scattaboo, and you never complained. You never wavered from your approach. I want to know why.
I mean, you always got to have confidence in yourself, and I always have confidence in myself, no matter the situation. You know, I've always prepared like I'm RB1. I'm going to continue to do so. Anytime I step on the field, I'm going to have overwhelming confidence in my ability. Guys placed me here for a reason. I know that when I get on that football field and the ball's in my hands, it's like I'm going to make a play. Whether, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to try my best to make a play.
Last year, you had over 800 yards rushing. You led this football team in that category. You had one of the best rookie seasons for a running back. And this year, when you get the opportunity, do you feel like you can still make magic?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like I said, I have full confidence in myself and my abilities. You know, we just need opportunities, me and Motor. We just need opportunities to go out there and make plays. But yeah, I have faith not only in myself, but also in Motor when he goes out there as well. I think we both, you know, believe in each other. Whoever's out there, like we both think that we both have the capabilities and the elite skills to go out there and just, you know, play football and do it the best that we can.
What do you think of this kid named Dart? Does he impress you with his poise, with his maturity? Does he act like he's a lot older than just a rookie?
Yeah, he definitely does. He doesn't, you know, come across as a rookie, especially when you're inside the huddle with him. Maybe like outside the huddle, like he jokes around, he goofs off. But like, we're all big kids, you know, in his locker room, and we're playing a kid sport. But when we go out there, we have fun. But at the same time, like, we got to go out there and mean business. He understands that. You know, he commands the locker room. He commands the offense. He does a really good job at it. He's a great leader.
How do you end this 3-game losing streak in Chicago and showing the fight that you need to show to be a winning team in the NFL?
I think just finish. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to do. We need to finish. Whether it's offense, defense, special teams, we all just got to finish every rep, you know, every snap. And when you're one-on-ones, it's all about the details. I think that we have the component. I think we've shown it over the year. And, you know, certain games, certain situations, we've shown that we have a really good team. But we got to finish. We got to finish when, you know, the game's on the line. We got to finish when it's a critical situation. Yeah, that's the key.
You know, Bob, I think he's going to be a coach someday because he always has the answers. He's always professorial. By the way, you think he'll ever be a coach someday?
I can see. I don't know about NFL or college. Probably high school. I could definitely do high school.
Sounds good. Tyrone Tracy Jr., back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Bruce. Now it's time for this week's edition of Strategy, presented by Microsoft Copilot. And Carl, we're going to take a look at the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams in his first year under new head coach Ben Johnson. One of the things that made him the number 1 overall pick is his athleticism, and the Giants have to be ready for off-schedule plays.
Yeah, and the key to that, Bob, is you got to call it kind of a cage rush. You got to have a guy here, and somehow keep him within the confines of this pocket. But when he is, the key's here. all your back end defense. You cannot become spectators when he scrambles. Let's just take a look at the rush first. Okay, they got a blitz going. They got a guy coming here. They got a guy coming here. This guy is the guy who doesn't get the cage, right? So the pressure's on. You've got pressure, but no one here to put him back in this area. So now that he moves around, I'll freeze it. Defensive back, defensive back, defensive back, defensive back. They're all looking this way. All looking this way. So while looking, this guy sneaks away, this guy sneaks away. This guy's covered. So quarterback uncovers, but while the defensive backs are being spectators, they turn a guy loose. So it's really about two phases of your defense. Cage the quarterback with the guys up front, but never take your eyes off the receiver. He stops, he looks back at the quarterback, this guy runs open. You have to maintain coverage at all times because this quarterback, once he starts moving around, the ball can go anywhere.
Yeah, and it shows his arm strength and athleticism to be able to even get it out to DJ Moore on that play. We're going to look at Caleb Williams again in their passing game.
Here's again a little play action pass. More so than just a pocket passer, you can see he can set his feet in rhythm and throw it. But how about the disciplined route running here? This is just as disciplined as you can get. Just a basic square in, but just look how he stacks the defender and comes right in front of the safety. Now, what has to happen if you're a free safety, middle of the field? You've got to watch the quarterback, see your keys, but you just can't keep backing up. He keeps backing up, square in comes in, he loses leverage on the football.
Yeah, that's a great route by Roman Dunze. Now, we're going to look at the running game because they have DeAndre Swift. He's been dealing with injuries. So last week, they used a rookie, 7th-round draft pick, Kyle Monangi, who is a New Jersey kid, Don Bosco prep, and he went for 176 yards. And Carl, the Giants have to be studying this.
Well, this is a play that continues to repeat itself on this Giant defense. It's a wide receiver blocking a defensive end, wide receiver blocking a defensive back, and they get the entire thing sealed. And I wanted to highlight this play because this play continues to haunt this Giant defense. It's an outside run. So this should be a mismatch. He outweighs the wide receiver by maybe 100 pounds. Well, let's just take a look. Blocked, right? So you got a wide receiver blocking here, wide receiver blocking another linebacker. This guy comes around and blocks the smaller defensive back, and away they go. What has to happen? You've got to smash this guy got to set the edge, and everybody feels from inside out. If you don't, you can't allow a wide receiver to seal you in. Just 2 seal blocks here. Seal block, wrap around. You've got to get up the field. You cannot allow yourself to get sealed. And as a defensive end, it'll be a shame to allow a smaller wide receiver to block you. And then he's down the field like, this is just good running. Now, once they clear the way for him, you can see he's got power and he's got speed. Breaks a tackle, cuts back. It's hard to bring down.
Carl, we're going to look at it from another angle here. And, again, now it's a look from the safety's point of view, from back here in center.
It's the safety's point of view, but here, there should be an alert between these two guys here that the position of this wide receiver means that there's going to probably be a block if it's a run, because position of running back is to get the ball fast here, right? Position of wide receiver to get the corner fast. So once you see those two things, the alert bell should come off. The defensive end should turn to that wide receiver and just push him directly into the backfield. But he allows himself to get sealed there, and there's not much you can do after that.
And the safety, missed tackle, and turns what could have been a 12-yard gain into a 30-yard run. All right, that's a look at strategy for this week's game between the Giants and the Chicago Bears. Carl, some final thoughts. Giants have kind of hit a little bit of a downturn here. How do they kind of get the energy level back up going against a Bears team that's having a good season, but is not without its flaws?
Well, listen, there are 8 games left in the season. You're not playing the string out. It's not like it's 2 games left. There's a lot to play for, and you've got to be goal-oriented, and you've got to look to improve every single game. We just showed you plays that have hurt the Giants each and every week. Eliminate those, tackle better, protect the football on offense. You'll give yourself a chance to win.
All right, this week's game between the Giants and the Chicago Bears, presented by Instacart. You help your team on game day. Instacart helps you win the rest of the week. Instacart, we're here. That wraps it up for this week's show. For Carl Banks, Coach Dable, Sean O'Hara, Bruce Beck, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Coach Dable Show, presented by Ford.